Why are teachers resigning in large numbers? Are teachers being tricked into losing out on their pension agreement? Will government workers lose their pensions come 1st March 2015? What does the law stipulate as far as pensions are concerned? What time is it? It's question time. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Mpho Tsedu. At least 14,000 teachers have taken early retirement last year. And the Government Pensions Administration Agency has blamed this purely on false rumors. A major cause for concern is that most of these retirees are not only nearing their retirement age, but are also senior teachers with years of experience on critical study subjects. While questions continue to be raised on where pensions from the former TBVC states or homelands are invested, the Government Pensions Agency is on a mission to trace the beneficiaries of 456 million rand in pension money lying in state coffers. My guest today in studio, the Deputy General Secretary of SATU, South African Teachers Democratic Union, Nkosana Dolopi. And joining us from our Pretoria studios is Acting COO of Government Pensions Administration Agency, Jay Morar. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. So Morar, let me just start with you. Are teachers going to lose their pensions? And if not, why is there a rumor circulating to that effect?
I think firstly, I want to rest and inform all people that work for the government. They will not be losing their pensions in any way. Let us be honest and say that the rumor that has been spreading to the public sector has been incorrect and invalid. The National Treasury did propose some changes in terms of pension reform last year, but that pension reform process has been withdrawn. And there is no impact to the Government Employees Pension Fund as far as members are concerned. And therefore, they should not be resigning. So, can you say it on record that nobody is going to lose his or her money? Nobody is going to lose his or her money. Not in this coming year, not until the government decides when the new legislation is going to be put into place. So now that government has not decided when the new legislation is coming into place, it may as well just come into effect sometime this year. No, not at all. The process has been referred back to NEDLAC, and a statement issued by National Treasury, although I'm not a spokesman for National Treasury, was issued last year in October, where it was advised that the whole pension reform process will first go to NEDLAC, and if it is approved there at NEDLAC, it will be implemented in the financial year 2016. If not, it will be deferred to the next financial year, which is 2017. But now, why would they be resigning based on rumors, Mr. Morar? We're also trying to determine that, and we can't seem to understand why members are fearing of losing their lump sum. We've had many instances where members close to the age of 59, 58, 57 resigning from public service simply because they feel that they're going to lose their lump sum. We're also aware that brokers from the financial sector are marketing themselves substantially against the Government Employees Pension Fund and informing members that they will be losing their pension benefits. And therefore, we have been raising this matter with them. However, members still are not looking at their affairs appropriately and are resigning. Mr. Dolopi, let me just come to you. SATU, your General Secretary has actually lamented that they are also concerned that so many people are resigning or retiring before their actual time. And if it is based on a rumor, then there's a problem.
No, it is a serious problem. It is a serious problem because it compounds a problem that we are already having. You remember that universities are producing plus minus 6,000 to 7,000 teachers every year. Whereas research is showing that we need plus minus 20 to 25,000 teachers every year. Yes. So already there's a backlog in terms of the production of teachers. Now the number of people who are then resigning, like I'm saying, is then compounding to that problem that we're having. So we are indeed concerned as a union that we need to attend to this. But we are saying the question of pension is just but one of the reasons why teachers are resigning. There are many, many other reasons that are also contributing to teachers resigning.
Okay, one of the reasons which I noted in the media was that due to financial pressures.
Indeed. You must remember that, look, teachers can't afford life. They can't afford the basics of life in terms of housing their own families, in terms of providing medication for their families, in terms of providing education for their families, in terms of affording transport to move from home to work. Those are serious, serious challenges that they are facing over and above the challenge of pension, but also the question of job satisfaction. We feel like teachers are under severe pressure from their employer, no appreciation, no support from the parents, the levels of discipline of learners. So if you add all of those together with the pension money, then you then come to know that there is a serious challenge that we need to address as a country to make sure that we retain good teachers, but also attract new ones into the profession.
So what is your position as SADC as far as these resignations are concerned?
Firstly, we are saying let's attend to their conditions of service. That's the first thing that we are saying. And then secondly, we also want to join the colleague to say we discourage them from taking their pensions so early. Because we are always holding a view as a teachers' union that this money will be needed more when they go on pension, when they reach their pensionable age. It's then that they will need the money for many varied reasons that the case is now. We understand their financial pressures now, but we think that the money should be kept there. They must remain in service. We will attend to the conditions of service that they are challenging, that they are facing on a daily basis. But we are really concerned that they should not be resigning. But like we are saying in your inset, that we are losing good teachers, critical subjects, good managers in some instances, some good principals are also leaving the system. So it is indeed becoming a concern to all of us as a country.
Mr. Morar, what does the law actually say as far as pensions are concerned?
As far as pensions are concerned, you know, a teacher or a member of the pension fund can retire at the age of 60. And there's no change in terms of that. And therefore, we're saying that teachers should retire at age 60 comfortably, and they will be able to get their pension lump sum benefits and their annuities with no problem whatsoever.
And what is the difference between one who retires and one who resigns? Do they get everything that they're supposed to get?
Well, the benefits are different. Firstly, when you retire, you would be able to get a lump sum benefit, which we call the gratuity. And then secondly, you will get a monthly pension. Okay, so that pension you get for as long as you live. And even if you then pass on, your spouse can get part of the benefit. And if you have minor children, and if your wife has passed on, your minor children will be able to benefit against those benefits. In addition, if you retire, and if you have a debt in your family, you are able to get funeral benefits from the Government Employees Pension Fund. And added to that, if you retire, and if you have 15 years of service with the Government Employees Pension, with the Government Employees Pension Fund as part of your benefit, you will be able to get a post-retirement medical subsidy.
Okay.
Now we all know that healthcare is very expensive in this country.
Yes.
And so for this subsidy can support the people in terms of sustaining themselves for healthcare benefits as they grow older. And we know that healthcare benefits is very important when you grow older.
Okay. There's a technicality here, though, Mr. Morar, that teachers can resign or take early retirement packages, and then
yes,
come back and reapply to be taken in as teachers or educators at various schools. I want us to just talk about that briefly only after the break, though. This is question time. Please don't go away.
Zoom into Africa. This is Ghana. The president is Mr. John Dramani Mahama. Ghana got independent from the United Kingdom on 6 March in 1957. The population is more than 25 million people. One of Ghana's major languages spoken is English. Monetary unit is cedi.
Welcome back. You're still watching Question Time. My guest today is the Deputy General Secretary of SATU, Nkosana Tolopi. And from our Pretoria studios, we are joined by the Acting COO of Government Pensions Administrations Agency, Tate J. Morar. Now, Mr. Morar, just talk to us briefly about that matter where, like I was saying, teachers resign or retire, and then 6 months down the line, they want their jobs back.
Yes, the law allows, not the pension law, but the education law allows teachers to resign. And we have noted now of recent, since the huge resignation rate, that teachers are coming back into the system. Okay. And that is dependent on, not on us, but on the education law that allows teachers to come back. And we are unable to stop that in any way. And as my colleague has said in the studio, we do need the teachers. So therefore, schools are taking back the teachers.
Are you exploiting the law here, Mr. Tolopi?
No, not at all. Like I'm saying, they are pressing challenges that they are facing as workers. It happens at times because they can, like I said, they can't afford the basics of life. That at times they are forced to opt out. You remember there's this challenge of teachers being in the gap market, where you have a situation where you want to get maybe a loan from the bank to buy a house. Yeah. You then told that you don't qualify because of what you are earning. Yeah. But at the very same time, in terms of the provision of RDP houses by government, they are saying, no, you don't meet the threshold because you are overpaid. Yes. So you have that difficulty of saying, but then where am I going to get assistance for me to be able to provide shelter for my family? So you are then forced maybe to opt out and get your pension funds for you to be able to buy a house. But also there is this challenge of education where, because of this gap market issue, where teachers will not be able to access funds from NSFAS, for instance, they're being told again that no, they are earning more. Whereas when they go to banks again to want to get loans or some support, financial support to be able to afford to send their children to university, again they will be told that no, they can't afford to get those kinds of loans. So those are contributory factors that then lead to people opting for their pension funds.
Are these teachers then well prepared for this, unemployment sector?
That's what we are calling on. In fact, we made the call to the GEPF and we made the call to other insurance companies as well to say that we need to embark on a serious campaign of education, financial management, to say that teachers should be assisted in terms of how they manage their finances, how they budget. We understand that they are earning little, but I'm saying that if they manage them well, they should be able to at least afford and to make ends meet from the first day of the month up to the last day of the month. It's difficult indeed because of the peanuts that they're earning. But we are saying if we can engage in a serious campaign, of course assisted by the GEPF and other institutions, including the employer themselves, the Department of Education, if they can engage in that kind of campaign, working with us as unions, we should be able maybe to mitigate the effects of these resignations.
Are they not overly indebted?
Yes, they are indeed, and the cause of that is because they are earning little.
No, but that cannot be an argument to pursue, because I don't think there's any body in South Africa who would say I'm well paid.
Yes, but you should be able to pay the basic, like there are variables that you should be able to attend to. Like the first one is the one of housing, shelter. It's basic. Any man, what being called a man, should be able to provide shelter to his children. Secondly, you should be able to afford education for your children. Thirdly, you should be able to attend to the question of health of your children. You should be able to provide them with food, feed your family. Now, I'm saying if your salary is such that you can't afford those basic variables, you're bound to go for maybe loans and so on and so forth, for you to be able to make ends meet. And those are the real challenges that they are facing. We say we need to attend to them. We are saying the employer, the government of the day, need to attend to the plight of the teachers. We are not saying give them millions of rands, but we are saying pay them a decent wage, pay them a wage that will be able to assist them to afford the basics of life.
But don't you have an investment arm as SATU?
Yeah, but we are not employing them. They are being employed by the Department of Education, so they are drawing their salaries from the Department of Education. They are rendering a service to their employer, being the state, and they should be earning their salary from there.
So how do they benefit as members out of that investment arm?
Look, the investment are for other benefits.
Like
that
what?
They get, like, for instance, on questions of airtime, negotiating deals for them, discounts for them, on questions of maybe accessing discounts when they buy cars and so on and so forth. But also long-term
How do I, as a member of SATU, benefit from this scheme?
Yeah, you do. For instance, now we have some dispensations with AutoPage, where when you are a member of SATU, you're able to produce your membership card and you're going there to buy a car. There's a discount that you are entitled to as a member of SATU. So I'm saying there are many, many other benefits that we're having, but critically so. Then it's a long-term kind of venture. It's not a short-term kind of venture. We are putting money in there for long-term kind of things. Like, for instance, now we are buying buildings for all our offices, both at provincial level and at national level. We are building a big office for ourselves now at national level. We are building offices at regional level. And all the money that we are using to buy or to build those structures is coming from our investment arm.
Yeah, but it doesn't sound to me like an ordinary member is really immediately benefiting. If you're saying that your members are paid peanuts, it means they may not even afford to buy that car which you have negotiated a discount for.
It does benefit them because the money that you are using, for instance, to pay for rent is then directed for other programs, for instance, of teacher development, of equipping them with skills, trying to assist them to be able to do their work more. Because the money, like I'm saying, you save from paying rent gets directed to other serious programs that assist them to do their work better in the classroom.
Mr. Morar, is there a way in which yourselves and perhaps teacher unions are collaborating to educate not just teachers in this case, but government employees in general about life after retirement?
We most certainly are doing that, Paul. We have various methods of how we deal with our members and pensioners. So we have a footprint throughout the country, firstly in terms of office structure. Secondly, we have just launched what we call mobile offices. Now these are moving vehicles with satellite on them, and they go to the remotest of areas in the country, and we have a vehicle for each of the provinces. And so they use the Tusong Center, community centers, etc., to go and meet and see our members and educate them in pension matters. And then we also have what we call road shows. Now road shows are really campaigns where we're able to educate, inform members of how they need to deal with their pension matters. This coming weekend, which is Saturday, the 21st, we're having a road show at the Botshabelo Civic Center. And so this is one of the many mechanisms. In addition, we have been what we're doing for the retiring members. So those people who are between the ages of 55 and 60, what we do is we hold campaigns for them in the various provincial areas where we inform them what they need to do in terms of financial savviness, how to react to financial services, when you need a financial consultant, what you need to do in terms of advice, etc.
Are you winning? Because they continue to be victims of this Ponzi scheme, say.
Yes, we try very hard.
Okay.
We have to do something. Even now we send newsletters on a quarterly basis.
All right.
So these are little things that we're doing. But I don't know if we're winning all the battle. I think we need to find a different way of how to solve this problem.
Okay, hold the thought there. We're going to take a quick break. I'll give you more time just after this break. Please don't go away.
Didier Drogba, a footballer from Ivory Coast, was named as the third most influential celebrity in Africa.
Where I saw him display, he's very nice player. He always make an impact.
Drogba donated his $5 million endorsement fee to the construction of a hospital in Abidjan.
Well, there are some lesser-known football stars in the continent that you haven't met.
Really?
And are deserving of more attention.
I think we will do better.
The Journal, every Saturday at 1:30 on SABC News.
Welcome back. You're still watching Question Time. Our guest today is the Deputy General Secretary of SATU, Tate Nkosana Dolopi, and from our Pretoria studios, Acting CEO of Government Pensions Administrations Agency, Jay Morar. Jay Morar, please continue.
So we think that we have to find a different approach of how to deal with our membership and our pensioners. We've done many things, and maybe my colleague out there saying that we need to join hands and do things differently from a union perspective point of view might be another approach we need to look at.
Okay.
But we've been trying to spread the information and the knowledge of how pension savvy you should be and how financially literate you should be in all our medias that we are busy with.
Okay.
So even when we do a road show, we bring in FSB, we bring in SARS, we bring in the various role players that will be able to empower the member to understand how to deal with their pension matters, how to become financially literate, why it is important to have a will, etc. But we're still not getting the reach, I think.
All right. Does government have the powers to advise workers against resigning or retiring?
If you're asking me as a pension fund administration, I don't have the right to tell people not to resign.
Would it not be ideal if they didn't resign?
No, they should not. That's why we are discouraging them. You remember when this thing started of this rumor, we wrote to all of our members and discouraged them from resigning. And then thereafter we were encouraged by a letter from Treasury and also from the department, also discouraging them from resigning. So wherever we go, when we address them in our mass meetings, one of the key messages that we are sharing with them is to say that it is not a good idea to take your money, because you might need this money more when you go on retirement beyond 60 years, when you are not working. So we are doing that. But I just wanted to raise the issue with the representative from the GPF. You know, I am aware the question of transparency is important, but our observation is that since you guys were sending these monthly or quarterly reports to individual members, giving them the exact figures of what they're entitled to, I mean, 1 million, 2 million, and I think there was this real exodus of teachers from that time. Maybe we should look at how that also affected and encouraged many people when they see the figures. Many of them believe they can opt out, go into business, and that kind of thing. We should be able to respond to that challenge as well, because the real question of resigning also came into effect when they started to see these big figures.
Mr. Morar, I want your response here. Why are you telling people how much they are worth?
Okay, so it's good practice from a pension fund industry point of view to be able to provide anybody with a benefit statement. If you have an insurance product, the insurance company tells you what your benefits are on an annual basis. So we're trying to represent the pension fund industry, and therefore we've been only for the last 2 years sending benefit statements. And I hear my colleague out there in terms of saying, well, we shouldn't be sending them.
No,
but
I'm
then
not saying,
members are asking for these benefits.
I'm not saying you must not send them out, but my observation is that since you started doing that, we have then seen this urge, people wanting to go up because they see the figures. Before that, the level of resignation was not as much as it is now. Whereas I'm saying it's good to be transparent, to share information with them, is their money. But I think that there is an unintended consequence that came into effect because of that. I think we should be able to manage it differently. And perhaps the question of education then comes in, because 1.7 million can't be enough to afford your life beyond 16 years. So we should be saying we are worth this money, but also explain to them that what is the 1.7 worth in real terms.
Mr. Morar, my interest is just being triggered here now. Just give me a scenario. How much is somebody who has been in the teaching profession for 20 years worth today?
Okay, it's very difficult to tell you what that would be, simply because of the fact that we're a defined benefit scheme, firstly.
Okay.
Secondly, it's based on the years of service and the salary, the average salary that the person earned for the last 2 years before he or she retired. And based on that, there's an actuarial calculation, and that determines the benefit available. So it could be for an individual 1 million, 5 million, 2 million, depending what his salary was.
1 million after 20 years?
I can't, I'm only guessing. I don't know what the values would be.
You should be surprised, Paul. That's the difficulty of being a teacher. You get into profession, you are a pauper, you'll die. You'll get out of the profession a pauper. Having worked for 20 years and you're still worth 1.7 million, it's just something that is laughable. We are saying as a country, we need to attend to the plight of the teachers.
Okay.
We need to attend to their conditions of service. We must take care of our teachers if we want to retain them. And that's what we are advocating for as a union.
Mr. Moral, let me bring in something which I'm not so sure you will be able to deal with here. The former Transkei Bophuthatswana Venda Ciskei states there's been a lot of arguments around the pension monies of civil servants from those areas. What is the latest?
Okay, so the TBV states, as we would call them then, they were absorbed into the pension fund of the GEPF. Some of them were not absorbed, and some of them were actually then the beneficiaries for those pension funds were paid out. So it all depends on which pension funds were absorbed into the GPF, and if they were absorbed and if their service were included as part of their service, we would then pay them that service as well.
The Bophuthatswana, former Bophuthatswana employees, there's still a lot of problems there. Do you know why and
yes,
when are they going to get their money?
Okay, so the former Bophuthatswana pension fund was not absorbed into the GPF.
Yes.
So they were paid out their pension benefits by the previous administrator.
Not all of them?
Well, according to our information that we have, all of them were paid out.
Those who haven't been paid, do they have any where to go to say when can we get our money or where can we get it?
Unfortunately, I don't know who the former administrators were, and therefore I'm unable to comment on that.
But, I mean, money can't just disappear, surely. You don't think there's a way in which they can inquire?
They could write to us, and we could check on our records and determine whether they were brought in or paid or not paid.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Thank you very much, gentlemen, and all the best, Dr. Tolopi. That was question time for today. A big thank you to our guests and to you for watching the show. We welcome your feedback via email, questiontime@sabc.co.za, or your Twitter handle @questiontime24. You can also follow me on Twitter @MPortSedu. From me and the crew, have yourself a wonderful time. Goodbye.